Hi guys, welcome back to the Hall of Style. I'm Jen. So happy to see you guys today. I am so excited to talk about today's perfume. Today I'm talking about Maison Margiela's Afternoon Delight from their popular replica line. I got this perfume a few weeks ago and I've been waiting, guys. I have been patiently waiting to try it. I wanted to try it on camera for the first time with you guys to give you my first impressions and thoughts on how this perfume is. Guys, I'm so excited to try this perfume. I love this line of perfumes. There are so many good ones, and I love their vanilla-based ones especially, and this is vanilla-based. Actually, I think it's the first gourmand one that they've done in quite a while, so I'm really thrilled to try this one out. I can't wait to see how it smells. It is supposed to be based on Madeleine cookies, which I have a couple here that I got specially for this. These cookies taste so good. They kind of remind me a little bit of Twinkies, but without the filling on the inside. They're very heavy on the vanilla. They're very yummy. They're sort of spongy and cake-like, and they're just perfect for the thought of like having with an afternoon coffee or an afternoon tea. I've tried really hard to avoid looking at any other reviews of this perfume. I really wanted to try it, first impressions with you guys here on camera and have it be my honest, first impressions and not really know too much going into it other than just the notes that are on Maison Margiela's website. Today is not a sponsored video. I bought this bad boy with my own money and just started small with the travel spray to see how it is. I feel pretty confident I'm gonna like this. I really like this line in general, so I feel pretty secure. I'm just gonna spray it right on my skin. I'm, gonna skip the tester strip and just go right to the chase. But I feel pretty good about it. I don't think there's much that could go wrong in this perfume for me. I know it has some sandalwood, and sandalwood can be a little tricky, so we'll see. That being said, I will give you guys kind of the full information that I know about this fragrance. So this perfume is very new. It was just released this year in 2024, about a month ago. I want to say the actual release date was maybe like August 13th. It was kind of mid-August, and it's mid-September now. So this is very new. This is an EDT or eau de toilette formulation, as are many of the fragrances in this replica line. The nose for this perfume is Carlos Benaïm. And the official notes from Maison Margiela's website are: the opening has bitter almond essence and angelica roots essence. The heart is Madeleine cookie accord, carrot heart, and absolu ambrette, which is ambrette seeds or musk mallow. The dry down has heart of New Caledonia sandalwood, infusion of premium Madagascar vanilla pod, and musks. I'm so excited to try this one. Those are all pretty good notes for me. Every now and then I struggle with sandalwood, but I'm hoping that the vanilla is going to be so good that if there are any issues with the sandalwood, it'll be okay. And sandalwood isn't awful for me every time. It's just one of those ones that, I don't know, it can go kind of weird for me at times with my chemistry, with just the way I'm perceiving it with my nose. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers that this is going to work out well. The impressions and feelings that they're trying to convey with this perfume is the feeling of being at a cozy Parisian cafe. You've got your Madeleine cookies, you've got maybe a coffee or a tea, and you're alone. You're just having like some downtime, some me time. Maybe you have like a novel that you're reading. You're just sort of relaxing and just taking some time for yourself to sort of like decompress from the day. So the keynotes, like the main three keynotes that they're really trying to get across with this one is that Madeleine cookie accord, the Madagascar vanilla, and the sandalwood. So I'm really excited to see if those are kind of the top three impressions that I will get with this. So without further ado, let's check it out, guys. I've been so excited to try this, but really wanted to wait and do it on camera so you guys could see my first impressions. So let's do it. Here we go. Give it a couple of good sprays here. Oh, this is good. This is It's a little bit on the lactonic side. It's pretty musky too. I think that's probably that musk mallow, the ambrette. It can be sort of musky in sort of a milky, musky kind of a way. So I'm thinking I'm getting a lot of that. It's very clean. It's a very clean musk. It's not animalic. So musk mallow or ambrette seeds, it is, plant. It's not animalistic. It is very grown from the ground. So even though it has sort of a musky vibe to it, it isn't like animalic or like anything like that, like sweaty or anything like that. It's very clean. There's sort of a little bit of like maybe like a cashmere vibe that I'm getting, like sort of like a clean linen. It's not like lily of the valley where it's like dryer sheet. It's not like that, but it does smell like it does remind me of that cashmere note. That's really interesting. It is really lactonic though. I'm kind of surprised. I am starting to get a little bit of the vanilla. The vanilla is starting to really come through now. It smells really, really good. That vanilla is good. And it is like the cookie. Since I have one right here. Yeah, I can see that. It's like a sophisticated version of this. It does have that. The vanilla is really good. But it does have the lactonic part of it is now going more into like melding with the vanilla and making it feel more like a baking kind of a feel. This is reminding me a little bit of Ellis Brooklyn Vanilla Milk, just a little bit. I feel like that one was more ambery, and this one so far is not very ambery to me yet. That one, I feel like it was a little bit more ambery and spicy. It might be interesting to like put that on my other arm and kind of compare the two, but they do have the similar kind of like milky vanilla kind of a vibe. Yeah, this is good. I am starting to get just a little bit of a woodsiness now. And there's a little tiny bit of a solar vibe too. It smells just a little bit like the kind of sunscreen that's not really coconutty, but you just sort of get that little vibe of like sunscreen, that solar feel. I'm getting that a little bit, which is really interesting. It's good though. I like this combination of notes. I will say that this isn't quite as sweet as I was expecting. I was really expecting it to be more full-on cookie, more sweet, and this is much more like subdued and sophisticated with that really nice sort of like kind of creamy linen feel. There is a little bit of an earthiness to it, which makes sense because you've got the ambrette, you've got the angelica roots, you've got the carrot. All of those things put together, it is going to give it like a little bit of an earthy vibe. I also think there's a touch of dustiness, probably from the carrot. Carrot can give you that. I think ambrette can give you that a little bit too. Sometimes they'll be not really powdery, not think of like an overly powdery fragrance, but there is just a slight bit of dustiness here. But there's also a lot of creaminess with the lactonic vibe and with the sandalwood. Sandalwood can go very creamy. Sandalwood can also go sort of pencil shavings at times, but I'm not getting that type of a sandalwood, at least not yet. It's not going like cucumbery. Sometimes sandalwood will do that. Not going cucumbery. It's not going pencil shaving. It's not going sour. Sometimes sandalwood will be very sour for me, and that's when I struggle with it. This is definitely more just, it's very clean. It's very sophisticated and pretty. And so far the sandalwood is subtle. I definitely can tell that it's there, but it's subtle and it's really nice. So far I'm really enjoying the blend of this. So guys, I think what I'm going to do now is stop filming and just kind of sit with this for a couple of hours and then come back and report back to you guys and let you know how the dry down goes, what the performance is like, all of those kind of details. I know that people complain about the replica line's performance or lack thereof. I really haven't struggled with it that much. It's not beast mode, it's not crazy. It's an EDT, but I've felt like the performance has been satisfactory for me. I have not thought, oh my gosh, it's gone in an hour or anything like that. So I'm just gonna sit with this for a little bit and then I'll come back and report back and let you guys know how the performance is through the night. And if that sandalwood comes out a little bit more, if the vanilla comes out a little bit more, if I get any other kind of impressions, I'll come back and let you guys know how that goes. Hi again, guys. So it's been about 3.5 hours since I last spoke to you and sprayed on Afternoon Delight. And in terms of performance, I would say this does sit pretty close to the skin. If I was sort of moving my arm in front of my face or talking or gesturing, I could kind of smell it probably for the first hour, maybe 2 hours, but it's definitely quite light. It does sit close to the skin. It performs like an EDT that you would probably expect. So this is no strong screamer. You're not going to be filling a room with this. It's pretty mellow and it's faded a lot. It's definitely not like some monster performance that's going to last forever. I would say if I was out and about, I'd be tempted to probably spray this on again and kind of top it off and kind of, rejuvenate it a little bit. Of course, I only did do, that quick spray on this one arm. So if I were to have it on both arms and maybe around my neck or something too, I might be getting more performance than what I'm currently getting. But for now, I would say this is definitely closer to the skin. It's definitely mellow. If you like quieter, more intimate scents, this is going to be, in your realm. I think if you like really loud, really like room filling fragrances, you might be disappointed with this. I do like the way this smells. It is a little different than I expected. It's not really the super sweet vanilla cookie vibe that I was totally expecting it to be just from the everything that it mentions, but it is really nice. It's very mellow. It's very I get a lot of that sort of sunscreen vibe that I was talking to you guys about before. I really get this sort of solar feel to it. And there is this very soft linen. I'm really surprised they're not talking more about cashmere or cashmeran. I really get that kind of a vibe. It's very mellow and gentle and not super sweet. There's a slight sweetness to it, but I don't smell this and immediately think cookie. I really think more sophisticated, clean linen, clean, kind of slightly musky, but in a very clean way, not an animalic musk at all. So while I like it very much, I definitely don't think this is necessarily hitting you over the head with vanilla cookie vibes. I thought I would do a couple of brief comparisons for you guys of perfumes that I think this reminds me of, or a couple that I saw that other people were reminded of. The first perfume I thought of when I tried it on was Ellis Brooklyn's Vanilla Milk. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I'm sorry, the lighting's not very good at this point in the night. But it did remind me of this particular fragrance and the sort of lactonic vanilla vibes that you get from both. With Vanilla Milk, I felt that it was lactonic, but it's more ambery. I feel like there's more of a sparkly ambery vibe to it. And I get the sandalwood, a more of a woodsy vibe with that as well. And I also feel like the vanilla itself comes through more. It's a very clean vanilla. I really like this one. I feel like this is very fall forward as well. I would definitely put them in a similar family for sure. Another perfume I immediately thought of course, was Tendre Madeleine that is by Les Senteurs Gourmandes. I have that one in the little tiny bit left, little decant. And this one obviously is also focused on the Madeleine cookie and inspired by that. With this one, I do get an orangey essence with it. It's a little bit more of a realistic cookie to me as well versus the Afternoon Delight by the Replica line. There's a hint of spice. It's lightly powdery. It again has this sort of sandalwoodish sort of tonka dry down. I had actually seen that perfume compared to Lyra by Xerjoff, and I do think they're in sort of a similar family, definitely not identical twins, but I do think if you liked one, you would most likely like the other. So there's some similarities. I would say it's more similar to Lyra than it is to this particular fragrance than to Afternoon Delight, but I do think that, all of them are good fragrances and sort of in a similar ballpark. Kind of keeping with the lactonic vibe, I also thought of This Is Her by Zadig and Voltaire. And This one for me, I remember this one a few years ago when it came out was so heavily touted by everyone. People were raving about this. I was so excited to try it. It sounded so good with the creamy vibes, with the sandalwood, with the lactonic kind of combination. And then I got it and it really wasn't my favorite. Like, I'm glad I have it as a reference point, but it didn't work very well with my particular chemistry. It's really musky on me, like in a masculine way. It's actually funny to me that this is called This Is Her, because to me, it's such a masculine fragrance. It's all about this musk and this sandalwood, and it leans very heavily masculine in my opinion. Another perfume that kind of fits in with that very musky lactonic vibe is Milk by Commodity, which I have a sample size in the expressive formulation. You know, they come in like 3 different ones for Commodity. This is sort of the middle of the road one. And this one for me, I wanted to love it so much because it's supposed to have lots of marshmallow in it. And you do get a sweet sort of vanillic marshmallow vibe. This does not work with my chemistry at all. It is so musky in a masculine direction and just doesn't work for me at all. And it is really milky with the lactonic. Like it has a good name because it is really milky, but it's lactonic and musky in a way that doesn't work for me at all. And I think this one also had like kind of a sandalwoody dry down as well. So a lot of these have this sort of combination of like the milk and the vanilla and the sandalwood. And I've had varying degrees of luck with any of them working or not working for me. I definitely think that Afternoon Delight is the one that's working the best for me out of these. I have 2 more comparisons for you guys that I saw online mentioned that I thought might be worth mentioning. And I do want to take a quick note to say I really like showing comparisons for you guys because I think it helps paint a better picture of fragrances that if you've already tried any of the ones that I'm mentioning, you have a reference point, right? You sort of know like, okay, if you like this one, you might like this one kind of a thing. Or to avoid it if you're like, okay, that one was musky and weird on me, and this one might also be musky and weird on me. So it helps you to know what it's similar to, what it's not similar to. Sometimes 2 perfumes be really similar where you're like, well, it's not really worth maybe buying both of them, at least not at the same time, because it's just going to be redundant. So I find it really helpful to compare and contrast, and I'm hoping that you guys are finding it helpful as well. So there were 2 more online that I saw Afternoon Delight compared to, and one of them did really make sense to me, and that was Philosophy Fresh Cream. I'm sorry, you guys, the lighting is so bad right now. I don't know if you can really see this, but it does have sort of a similar vibe. They both have the lactonic. They both have the vanilla. I would say that Fresh Cream is definitely sweeter. This is kind of like cereal milk. This is like if you've made yourself a sweet cereal and the leftover milk after you've had your cereal, it sort of has that kind of a vibe. It's very cozy and comforting. I really like this one a lot. And it's a little bit of a love it or hate it in the fragrance community. But for me, it works really well with my chemistry. And I just think it's extremely cozy and comforting. And I really enjoy it. And it's extremely affordable too. I think I got this at Nordstrom Rack for like less than $10. So you can often find it for a pretty good deal. And then the last one that I saw it compared to online was Contour Sud Pacifique. This is Vanille Extreme. And I don't know that I agree with that one. This does have a milk note in it, but it's not particularly milky or lactonic for me on my skin. This to me is more of like a really good pure vanilla that is perfect to layer with other perfumes. I mention this one a lot. If you want just a good, very pure vanilla that you can layer over the top of something to either give it a vanilla vibe or to sort of amp up vanilla that might be in that fragrance, but you're not noticing it as much as you like. This is also a lighter fragrance that doesn't last forever. It's sort of okay performance. So I like mixing and matching this and layering it with other perfumes just to like give it a boost and to also boost other fragrances to give them a little bit more vanilla because I love vanilla. In anticipation of knowing that I was going to be trying this perfume today, when I took a shower today, I used Bath & Body Works Vanilla Bean. as I'm getting kind of low on it, as you guys can see. I need to get some more of this. But this scent from Bath & Body Works to me always smelled like a Nilla wafer cookie. And so I felt like these two would layer well together, and they do. So if you're like me, where you kind of like to try to match up your like shower gels or your lotions with your perfumes a little bit, I would say this vanilla bean, which I'm pretty sure that Bath & Body Works always has like year round. It's one of their top scents. I would definitely suggest like layering the two together. It's definitely a hit. So guys, let me know what you think. Have you tried Afternoon Delight yet? Are you thinking about trying it now that you've heard my review and possibly some other folks' reviews? Let me know what you guys think, or if you're interested in trying it, I would love to hear your opinions on this. And let me know if you did try it, did it smell like a vanilla cookie to you? Or were you more like me, where it smelled more like kind of mellow and like linen and like a little bit woodsy and just more mellow and not so sweet and not so gourmand or edible as you were expecting? Let me know if you got the sunscreen vibe. I had my husband smell this and he definitely got the sunscreen. To him, this reminded him a little bit of like afternoon tea, but like the actual tea. Like he was thinking, oh, this kind of reminds me of like maybe Earl Grey tea or something like that. He had more of those kind of thoughts about it. So it's really interesting to see how everyone perceives, fragrances differently. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Please comment, leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought. Don't forget to head on over to my website, thehallofstyle.com. I have all sorts of other wonderful articles reviewing tons of different perfumes. I review shower gels and candles and hand soaps and anything that is scented. I love scented items. I love to compare and contrast them. I find it to be so much fun. So please check out my website. And I also have a review on a few more replica fragrances that I got in a sampler set. So if you're interested in learning about those 5 fragrances, you can check that out. You may also like the idea of my cozy as a cashmere sweater list, which I would put this fragrance into at this point. I think it really has those very cozy fall cashmere sweater kind of vibes. So I think this perfume would go perfectly with that. If you like that kind of vibe, definitely check out that article where I have a bunch of other fragrances that are kind of in that similar vein. So that wraps it up for me today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed putting it together for you. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Oh, there goes Moog.